Hey, good morning. It's Maria with another video. It's 8:54 a.m. It is the 17th of November, Sunday morning, and I'm just sitting here. Not really sure what I want to do today. I don't know. I don't have a need to get out of the house, but I was just thinking a lot, this morning. I got up early, and I'm trying to keep myself busy. So I did a little sewing yesterday, which I was very happy that I kind of pulled myself out of my sluggish mood that I was in. And I did some cleaning and brought some of my supplies from the garage into the house. So I was patting myself on the back. I was like, yeah, I did something, instead of just sitting here thinking about how screwed up, you know, things have been, and the abuse that I had to deal with relating to my family, my ex-family. So I wanted to talk today about how the perp chain works. How stalkers infiltrate in people's spaces and convince other people to cooperate with their illegal activity. Some people don't even realize that it's illegal what they're doing, but they do know that their actions are malicious. It's meant to either harm a person by harassing them, or just shaking up the routine, just doing something to these people, to somebody that is going to irritate them in some way or whatever. Okay. So it is illegal. I did post a video, not a video, but a post on Facebook about the laws, anti-gang stalking laws, conspiring against another individual. But one of the ways that perps or spies or what do you call it? Stalkers, okay, get in is they use like somebody that they perceive to be as like a model, or somebody who has authority, and some people may have thought that my ex-brother-in-law had authority because he's white. That does play on people's minds sometimes. And then the fact that I had an older sister, meaning somebody who's older, and somebody who has a college degree, a 4-year degree, seemed impressive to certain people, and therefore they think that this person can have say so into what a person does. And so maybe they might arrange a job for that person. Okay. In this case, I believe my family has arranged jobs for me. And so in that case, they introduce you into a particular company. Okay. But you don't know that these people arranged for this job. See, when you go into a job and you fill out a resume, an application or whatever, you're listing your references, who referred you to the job. Sometimes they refer you, sometimes you're responding to an ad, but sometimes, most of the time, who your reference is. Or sometimes people take it more formally. They might, you might know like a neighbor, okay? And your neighbor knows a person who owns a company, and I need a person who has your skills. So that neighbor says, I know you're looking for work. Let me help you. I know somebody. I can introduce you to them. So you guys do something. She either makes phone calls, and you make a time to introduce yourself, or maybe you guys have lunch or whatever, and then you introduce, whatever. Okay, these sort of arrangements happen all the time. They're like everyday occurrences, and it's all done out in the open. It's understood. But when stalkers come in, okay, and you're not permitted to know who is your reference, and it's usually because these people are doing things because they're doing it because they want to abuse you. Okay, I have been abused for many years, and they intermingle with the people that you work with and your neighbors and everything, because they use the whole thing of, I'm their family member, I'm this particular person's family member, and I'm concerned or whatever. And oftentimes, nobody is that concerned. If they're concerned, pick up the phone and whatever. What's the point of this operation? The point of the operation is that this is done to harass and abuse an individual. So this, when you think about domestic stalking, this is what it is. Okay, when we think of the word stalking, oftentimes we think of somebody who's sitting out in like a parking lot or behind a shadowy tree, you know, kind of looking at somebody or whatever. That's one image of it, okay? But stalking usually involves more things, okay? Like it's lots of phone calls. There's people, you know, interacting with other people who are around that person. There's sharing of information, no matter how insignificant or how small or insignificant it is. It's just like this person is getting way too much attention. And so, you know, it can happen in a neighborhood, but when it starts entering to the workplace, okay, either way, either if it's out in the public, then we're talking about gang stalking laws. And then we're also talking about the issues that go into the workplace, okay? Now, you know, I never, like I said, I never agreed for my ex-family to, you know, arrange my jobs, okay? And in this case, you know, we have people who don't agree with certain things. I have a right to not agree to be a part of my family's religious belief system, if that's what they've adapted since I've lived in that family. Okay, I have every right. I'm over the age of 18. Even if we were raised in a particular religion and it was stable, like, for example, my parents raised me to be Catholic, okay? Let's say, for example, okay, that they raised me to be Catholic. And by the time I'm 18 years old, okay, your family may not like it, but you have the right to leave if you want to, okay? You don't have to give any, and sometimes, you know, families say, well, what about our love bonds, you know? But legally, they have the right to leave their family. They do. They have every right to, okay? When you think of what bonds a person together, love bonds me to a person, okay? Not obligation, not blood, love, okay? And in my life, I know that I've dealt with the insincerity of so many people that I know that I'm a little nervous about making this video because I'm just exhausted and tired and just drained, and there's so much going on in my head. But anyway, I'm not somebody who wants to be around a person if I don't truly want to be around them. And I know, looking through the years, I've been thinking about a lot of this today, and thinking about all the nervous issues I've had all my life, like just getting sick to my stomach and wanting to leave certain areas because of the tension and the whole stalking behavior. And my family, they are bullies. They are bullies. They're a bullying family, and they are very primitive in their thinking, okay? They'll say one thing, but they mean another. You know, the rule of the house is we're 18 years old. You know, we do what we want. We leave, you know. I have never, ever had this, ever recall having a family meeting saying, well, we're family. We are going through these goals together. This is we're going to build as a family. All my life, it's been, you're 18 years old. You do what you want. You're out the door. Okay. I never, ever had one of those family meetings to where it was like, well, we have these set structures, we have this thing, everybody's going to flow in this direction. It's never been that way. It was 18, when you're living under our roof, that's what they would say. When you're living under our roof, you do what we say. Okay, when you're 18 years old, you get a little bit more freedom. Okay, but if you're living under our roof, like, for example, when I was younger, I did something bad. I stayed out one time beyond curfew. Even though I was 18 years old, I still had a curfew, because when I got home, it was kind of rude for, you know, my family to be woken up, like, you know, at 2 o'clock in the morning or whatever, if I was to come in or something like that. So it was like, well, they had their times, like 12 midnight or something like that, okay? So if I broke curfew, you know, because that's inconsiderate. So it's showing kind of disrespect for the people, my mother and my father, because they want to go to sleep. They don't want to get woken up. They don't want to worry about somebody that's in their family, even if I don't know if they cared, but still, they don't want to worry about, you know, somebody, you know, being out late at night. So they want to make sure everyone's home at a certain time. Okay. But that was agreement. Okay. But as far as my religion, how I viewed things, what I wore, whatever, all these things were my decision. Okay. So I get my ex-sister Lisa, and my sister Tanya. they think that family is going to make me want to. I'm getting off the subject here. We're going to talk about how perps, become stalkers and how to identify this, okay? What makes this a human trafficking issue is the fact that, they've controlled my employers, my former employers, okay? They've convinced my former employers, okay, that this was a good thing to do, that this was the right thing to do, that it was not even questioned by the employers whether or not this should even be done. Family members don't have any say-so over another family member. Okay, they use this the ability to not disclose the information as to who is being your reference. Okay, they use this to their advantage. Okay, so they can see what do you do at work? Who are you, like, as an adult? They know you as a little kid who's always goofy and whatever. And there's a big goofy side to me. Okay, I'm a very free, happy, bubbly person. Okay, I like making jokes more than being serious all the time, which I've been far too serious in the last few years. Okay, but they do this to get information about you. Okay, that as an adult to me is really none of their business. You know what I mean? They do this also to control you. Like, it's a form of bullying, like the bullying that I dealt with when I was growing up. If they didn't like my religious views at that time when I was younger, then they would stir up trouble and kind of try to bully you and try to make you feel bad about what you believe or what you're interested in. And that was childish, immature behavior, okay? And most people kind of, as adults, they're like, well, that's really stupid. Let's just, bury the hatchet. That was foolish. We shouldn't have been that way. But some people continue to be this way in adulthood, which is the case with my family, okay? And they don't realize that, number one, you're ignorant. You don't have the right to do this to another person, okay? None of this is consensual. I would never agree to be a part of this religion, okay? And that's one of the employment laws, okay? You don't hire people based off of religion, okay? Like, you can't sit there and have a third party dominate or make decisions to introduce you into a particular company with the lure of, or the idea of converting a person to a particular religion or political view. That's against the law, okay? And yet and none of this is coming right out. No one comes right up and says this, okay? Like, for example, you get a lot of, I'm sure, decent Christian people. There are no good people in this world, okay? And there are no all 100% bad people in this world. But there are some decent Christian people, okay? Who may have got swept up in this whole Jim Culligan bullshit, okay? So they forget, or maybe they're not knowledgeable, or they're ignorant or of the law or whatever, and they bring this sort of religious persecution into the workplace. It's against the law. Okay? This person has a very cult-like mind. Okay? And everybody who was attacking me in this had their own issues. Okay? I think my sister Lisa is a little jealous because of the weight issue. Okay? And my family is pretty much overweight. And they don't see that as I guess they think it's normal. But growing up, I realized that it wasn't normal. I didn't think it was normal, and I didn't like it. Nobody ever told me, when you grow up, Maria, you're supposed to, eat like us. As far as I knew, you were not supposed to allow that to happen. You know what I mean? That's what your school, what do you call it? The health books used to talk about in school. You get doctors talking about it. It's not supposed to happen. Okay, it's not something you're supposed to welcome with open arms. Okay, and no, it's not supposed to be something that you welcome as you get to a certain age. Okay, I know people think this, but it's not. And I'm not judging other people who do this. Okay, but just because I choose not to, I don't want to be that way. I don't. Okay, I remember seeing, my mother, her struggles, and I remember thinking, this isn't. I don't want this in my life. That's my choice. Okay. And by bullying me, by wondering what I'm wearing to work and thinking and all this other stuff, I have every right to. Every right to. I I want people to understand that domestic stalking is done to hurt an individual. It is never to anyone's benefit to keep references like that. References, okay? A secret. It's not. Okay, that right there is a red flag. Okay, so I'm sure human trafficking is quite, it's quite common. But if you are somebody who is working in one of these positions, I want you to really think about what's going on right now. Okay? That this sort of stuff is going on all the time. And this sort of bullying, this sort of illegal trafficking is going on all the time. And you're turning a blind eye to it, or you're one of these people who feel as though it's a game and you participate in it. It's wrong. I don't owe my family anything. If they gave me a job, assigned me a job, many years ago or whatever, thanks and no thanks. Because, yeah, you gave me a job, but you've done nothing but bully me and create all kinds of problems. And no matter how hard I worked, I never got any acknowledgement for it. Okay, so you've done nothing for me. You may think that you have, but you didn't. Okay, you've done nothing for me at all. Okay, love is not, I don't love you. I don't. And it's weird for somebody to come out and say things like this, like, I don't love a person. I don't love you. I don't. I cannot love you. I cannot care about you. Okay? That's all of you. Okay? To me, to treat a human being in the manner that you have treated me is unacceptable. And for the duration of it. You know what I mean? And you're doing it because you have your own issues and you feel as though you want to use me to work out your frustrations. That's not my problem. It's not my problem. So, when number one, you're not supposed to hire people based on religion. You're not supposed to discriminate. And I understand, things have gotten a lot different now. Things are different now. Like, many years ago, being overweight was something that people you were discriminated against for that. Okay. And I'm not saying you should, but that's just the way it was. And now a lot of people are overweight. They but something happened in my mind when I was a kid that I knew I never wanted. I don't like that. That's not what I like. I don't like it. I don't like anything I don't like it. I don't agree with it. I don't approve of it. And I understand there's a lot of things that go on in this world that I don't agree with. Okay? A lot. But still, it's like, I'm not going to sit here and say I like something or do something when it doesn't bring me any personal happiness. Okay, that includes, I'm not going to sit here and listen to, trendy, top 40 music if it really makes me sick. I'm not going to sit here and watch movies that don't interest me just so I can have a conversation with somebody because everyone likes it. I'm not going to change my life for anyone. Okay? If that means, well, then, all people are going to discriminate against me and you're never going to be offered any, management positions or whatever because you choose to live your life the correct way, well, then obviously there's corruption going on. Okay? And then I'll just have to deal with it. Okay? Because this is my choice. You do things in your life that I don't agree with. I don't agree with people who sleep in all day. I don't. To me, rise and shine. That's me, okay? But you have every right to sleep in till 4 o'clock in the afternoon if that's what you so choose to do. Okay? You can sit here and drink Starbucks coffee, ice drinks all day long. And if that's what you want to do, you do it. I don't particularly like those sort of things. But if that's what you like, I respect the fact that you like those things. Okay? And I just say, you know what, that's her and this is me. Okay, but I would never abuse you, you know. But you've done so many things to me. It's ridiculous. So that's the way it is. You know what I mean? That's the way it is. I accept it. But see, I know the truth. I know the truth that I am worth far more. You know, and it's unfortunate that what you put in place, which is illegal bullshit that you put in place, has hurt somebody who's already struggled many years because of the bullshit that you've already done in the past with your bullying and your bullshit. Okay, so how you can look yourself in the mirror every day and accept yourself as a human being, I truly wonder about that. But whatever the case is, I have suffered many years because of these people. And so now I want to focus on the things that are of interest to me. And I'm going to talk about the things that are going to interest me. And so I'm giving myself some time to finish my my PowerPoint, which I want to get this done this week. And I do want to make some more videos. And I want to talk about, and I figure I would be able to make better videos if I can write things out to make presentations instead of trying to talk and remember all this stuff, because I'm not good with like looking at cue cards and stuff like that. But what my point of this particular video is how, you know, people disguise themselves as these, you know, references. Okay, now if you are a reference, I'm going to tell you right now, references, just because you may have helped somebody get a job, okay, so then you referred that person to that job. Okay, that does not give you any right to choose another person, the next job that they have, to, you know, do all this other stuff. Okay, so what you have done is illegal. Okay, my siblings have mistreated me and abused me out loud in the public, okay, with full public participation for bullying. Because I have a sister, an older sister, ex-sister Lisa, who has struggled to lose weight, who got gastric bypass surgery, who failed at it, who gained weight again, and now she wants to punish me for her failure. And then you get a bunch of overweight women that I've worked with in the past, which I have nothing against, but at this point when you attack me, then we do have something. We do have a problem. Okay? So then you get these people to start bullying me. Joanna, the girl, Selena, all these other women, Mary Landucci, all these overweight women. Okay? To bully up on a person. Okay? It's illegal. Okay? What you did was illegal. And it was for selfish motive. Because you hate yourself. Okay? I never hated you before. Okay? I always wished you well. Okay? But I was dealing with a lot of stress at work that you were recreating. At the time, I had no idea you were creating any of this bullshit. I was going to your house to try to get away from the bullshit and think about, you know, just spend some time with my family. You know, try to forget shit. But you caused all this shit in my life. Family, just because you're family, okay, that we have the same mother and father, does not give you any legal right to do what you've done. Okay? Doesn't. You may not like my lifestyle. You don't have to. Okay? You don't have to. I don't like your lifestyle. I don't have to. Okay? We have rights to live however we want. Okay? And when you have these anonymous stalkers arranging jobs, chances are it is because they want to deprive you of your right. Your rights. That's why it's illegal. Okay, so this, I'm trying to help you understand, and I really want to do a video, a PowerPoint presentation on this, okay, with illustrations and wording, because I write very well, to talk about, you know, how to identify this, okay, because these people have used their anomaly, can't pronounce that word, anonymous, being, they by being anonymous, they've used this opportunity to abuse a person. for decades. For decades. Okay? And they have deprived me of my human rights. And sure, they might mingle in with other people around. They might mingle with, the people you work with, your people that you see at the grocery store. Everybody recognizes these people. They recognize your perps, your family perps, your ex-family perps, or whatever. They know who they are. You know what I mean? I didn't ask for it. I don't know what you do when you're at home. I don't care what you do at your home. In the past, when I cared about you guys, I was always hoping that you were well. But I would never do that. If you had a job and you were trying to improve your lot, and you ended up getting a $100,000 a year job, just as an example, I would never come into my heart to do what you did. It wouldn't come into my heart to do it. I would never think of obstructing. And if there was any sort of jealousy, really honest and truthfully, there wouldn't have been. I would have never been jealous of that, because I don't dig into your personal life to know what you're doing. So chances are I probably wouldn't even know that you even had it. I wouldn't know that you even had a $100,000 a year job. Okay, unless of course you told me. Okay, I knew where my second oldest ex-sister worked because she told me. Okay, I knew my oldest sister kind of knew what she did for a living. My oldest sister, I kind of knew what she did for a living. I knew she was like into lactation specialist. I knew that she did like Lamaze or whatever. But where she worked, how many hours she worked, what kind of certification, I didn't know any of that. Okay, I didn't care. I'm not saying that I didn't care because I didn't care about their well-being. I hoped that they were doing well. You know what I mean? But I figured they were taking care of their shit like they're supposed to take care of their shit, and it's none of my business. I never thought to, whatever. The point is that oftentimes these are done out of competitions, or family jealousy. And these competitions that, you have no idea what's going on. But they're meant to bully and abuse a person, is what they're meant to do. So what I'm saying is, I'm taking my life back. Okay? I don't care if you don't agree with my stuff. I don't care if you have other people and you pulled everyone on the face of this planet. Okay? I have my right to live the way that I want to. Okay? And I have the right to walk away from people who abuse me. There is no legal reason why I should have to be stuck with your bullshit. Okay? Come what may. And that's how awful and evil and how much I resent, and find being around you or being associated with you unlivable. I absolutely cannot stand who you people are. I can't. And that's just how I feel. So when it comes to, in previous employers, they assume that this is like their family and they're doing a special favor for families. Let me tell you about special favors for families. Special favors for families are illegal. Okay, there's nothing wrong with a sister introducing you to formally and saying this is whatever, but they're not supposed to be done under certain conditions. Religion, issues relating to your marriage, any of these sort of things. None of it. All right? And I think a lot of the sexual harassment cases or issues originally come out of family issues. I really do think so. A lot of them. Okay? Every once in a while you'll get this guy who, says something or does something inappropriately to a woman. Okay? But oftentimes this stuff originates in families. And I think a lot of times it comes from jealous females, and nitpicky females, and they like to bring their little drama into it, and it becomes a teasing issue. Okay? It becomes a teasing issue. Other people join in, especially the women, like that these people that she brought in to do their crap. And it is a form of sexual harassment. Okay, just because somebody takes care of themselves does not mean that they're out here trying to find a guy or whatever. I personally think, in my world, in my personal belief, that this is how you're supposed to be. Okay, and pretty much based on like things written in psychology, what do you call it? Body, mind, spirit type idea, belief systems, even in Christianity. Okay, there is nothing wrong with being well groomed. There's nothing wrong with it. There's nothing wrong with taking care of yourself. There's nothing wrong with making sure that you don't end up a bedridden person so big that you're like on the Jerry Springer show or something along those lines or whatever. There's nothing wrong with that. Okay? There's nothing wrong with that at all. Okay? It doesn't mean that you're trying to get a man. It doesn't mean anything. I personally do not like myself at a certain size. I don't like it. It's uncomfortable. I don't like it. I don't. Okay? Yes, I do like making clothes, okay? But my clothes are not provocative. They're not. There's nothing provocative about them. Okay? They come off as offensive to you because you're jealous. And I'm never meant to make anyone jealous. I was just trying to live my life. You know? And it's not a competition. It's not a competition. What I do in my life is not a competition. It is because I'm drawn to certain things and I enjoy these hobbies. It never crossed my mind that, well, how does Lisa feel about it? How does Tanya feel about it? Wonder if Rashawn would like it. It doesn't click in my mind. And if you think that it should, you might have an ego issue. You know, you might think that you need to control even my thought patterns. Something's wrong with you. You know, I'm disturbed by the whole thing. And, I know that you've made my future very uncertain. You know, you've made my future very uncertain. And I am willing to deal with that. Okay? I'm willing to deal with it. Because I honestly and truthfully don't want to have to deal with this ever again. I really don't. The memories and all of it is just too negative, and and this whole thing shows so much, and it just proves so much of my point about why I deserve to be. I really do deserve a $100,000 a year job. I do, okay, but that's not what I'm going for. As a matter of fact, I've been thinking a lot about work, and I know that the workforce is sadly manipulated oftentimes, and not everybody gets what they deserve. You know what I mean? And I do understand that you've made things very difficult for me, okay? And it has affected my life, not just in the past, which you guys, I really do regret being born in that family. I really do. But I accept the fact that, I might not ever do as well as I should be doing. Okay? Not because of me. Okay? But because of what you guys did. All right? But, oh well. It's sad because, I'm a dedicated person and I loved working, and I never wanted, I never believed in family merging with my work or anything. And what you guys did is just, absolutely evil and unnecessary, and it is completely unforgivable. And you don't understand it because I know that we were raised. I'm going to come back with part 2.